Hey everyone, this is Andrew Cox with San Antonio Premier Football Academy, and we're going to teach you today the step over turn. The first thing to remember when doing a step over turn is that this is not a turn to use in every situation. You're going to want to use this turn when you have a defender behind you, so make sure that you start your run with a shoulder check. If you have a defender behind you, that is when you're going to want to execute the step over turn. This is Garrett. Garrett is 6 years old and is struggling a little bit with some of the aspects of this move, so we've made it simpler for him. We've added the shoulder check at the beginning of receiving the ball instead of during the reception so that he can focus on having a good touch at the end of receiving the ball. This entire move took Garrett a little over an hour with constant coaching, so don't be discouraged if this move does not immediately result in success for you. It takes some practice. This is a complicated move, and there are a lot of common mistakes that kids are going to make as they're picking it up. The first one is make sure that that initial plant foot isn't pointed straight at the ball, but instead you want to open it up and turn it to the outside. This is going to let you fully twist. The second thing is make sure there's not so much space in between your leg and the ball. This is going to make it obvious that you're executing some sort of move and not a natural soccer motion. And the third thing is don't land on your knee with it locked. You want to make sure that you're low to the ground and that your knee is bent so you can finish the turn. Here it is in slow motion. You're going to watch the plant foot pointed out. The sweep is very close to the ball and it allows me to pivot and bring the ball to the other side of the defender. Another common mistake is as you approach the ball, taking too big a step. This is going to make it really hard for you to get back to the ball to sweep it away from the defender, although it may seem easier to make the turn with this wide motion. The first step is going to be an open plant to allow you to pivot around the ball. The second step is going to be a sweep over the ball. You're going to want to make sure that your knee is slightly bent to be able to accommodate the third step. And this step is the one that I see kids miss the most. If you don't take that adjusting step with your plant foot, it's going to be very hard for you to fully execute the turn. So make sure that you're shuffling that foot over. And then you're going to turn and take the ball with the outside of your original sweeping foot and begin the explode out of the move. So again, here it is in slow motion. Now without the ball, this is going to look a lot like a dance move. That's okay. To start learning the move, we're going to execute just the first two steps over and over again to get Garrett comfortable with the idea of swinging his leg around and keeping it tight with the ball. After a couple of repetitions, we're going to challenge him to do it as quickly as possible to take his brain out of it and let his body just react to the thing that he's just coached himself to do. Now that he has that, we're going to add the extra step. It takes him a second to figure out what to do with both feet, but once he's done it a couple of times, he gets more comfortable with all four of the steps. Now we're going to add back the shoulder check and the receiving of the ball to make it more game-like. Once he has that down, we're going to add a defender who is sold by the initial step and then is beaten by the step over turn.